In the heart of Chicago's bustling financial district, where skyscrapers cast long shadows over hurried footsteps, Lily Harper navigated the glass corridors of Pinnacle Enterprises with a quiet grace. At 24, she was the youngest administrative assistant in the firm, her desk tucked into a corner of the open-plan office, surrounded by colleagues who wore their ambition like armor. Lily's soft brown eyes and warm smile had a resilience forged by years of scraping by, raised in a cramped South Side apartment by a single mother who worked 2 jobs to keep the lights on. She'd clawed her way through community college, landing this job through sheer grit. But to her colleagues, she was just the coffee girl, invisible until someone needed a refill. It started with whispers. A Monday morning, 6 months into her job, when Lily's usual vibrancy seemed dimmed. She'd been late twice that week, her face pale, her hands trembling as she sorted files. By Wednesday, the office grapevine buzzed. Lily was pregnant. Unmarried. No ring on her finger. The news spread like wildfire, and the judgment followed. At the coffee machine, Sarah, a senior analyst with a penchant for gossip, smirked at her friend Jenna. Can you believe it? Pregnant, no husband. What kind of example is that? Jenna, sipping her latte, rolled her eyes. She's probably looking for a handout. Typical. Their laughter stung, but Lily, overhearing from the copy room, bit her lip and kept working. She couldn't afford to lose this job, not now. Lily's pregnancy wasn't planned, but it wasn't a mistake either. She'd met Ethan Caldwell at a charity gala last spring, where she'd volunteered to help serve. Ethan, Pinnacle's elusive CEO, was a mystery to most employees, a 32-year-old prodigy who'd built the company from a startup to a Fortune 500 giant. He was charming, with sharp green eyes and a quiet intensity, but he kept his distance from the office's daily grind. That night, though, he lingered at the gala, struck by Lily's kindness as she comforted a crying child who'd lost his mother in the crowd. They talked for hours, their connection instant and undeniable. One night turned into weeks, then months, of stolen moments, dinners in quiet restaurants, walks along Lake Michigan, always away from prying eyes. Ethan wanted to protect Lily from the spotlight of his world. She wanted to prove herself at work on her own terms. Neither expected the pregnancy test to change everything. By the second trimester, Lily's secret was impossible to hide. Her baby bump drew stares, and the office's whispers grew bolder. During a team meeting, Mark, a smug marketing exec, leaned back in his chair. Lily, you're glowing, but shouldn't you be, like, planning a wedding or something? The room snickered. Lily's cheeks burned, but she forced a smile. Just focusing on work, Mark. Inside, she ached. Ethan had been traveling for weeks, board meetings in London, deals in Dubai, and their late-night calls weren't enough. She hadn't told her colleagues about him. They'd never believe her anyway. To them, she was just the poor girl from the wrong side of town, now a cautionary tale. The cruelty peaked at the office holiday party. Lily, in a thrifted dress that hugged her growing belly, stood alone by the dessert table. Sarah and Jenna approached, their smiles venomous. So, Lily, Sarah said, loud enough for others to hear, who's the father? Some deadbeat from the bar. The room fell silent. Lily's throat tightened, but before she could respond, a voice cut through the tension. Enough. Ethan Caldwell stepped forward, his presence commanding the room. He'd arrived unannounced, straight from the airport, his suit rumpled, but his authority unshakable. The crowd parted as he walked to Lily's side, his hand gently finding hers. Lily is the kindest, most selfless person I know. And the father of her child, he paused, his gaze sweeping the stunned faces, is me. Gasps rippled through the room. Sarah's face drained of color. Jenna dropped her glass. Ethan continued, his voice steady but fierce. You've judged her without knowing her heart. She's been volunteering at shelters since she was 16. She's paid her mother's medical bills while studying nights. And she's carried herself with more dignity than any of you have shown tonight. He turned to Lily, his eyes softening. I'm sorry I wasn't here sooner. Tears welled in Lily's eyes, but she stood taller, her hand in his. The room was silent, the weight of their assumptions crashing down. Ethan wasn't done. Pinnacle's success isn't just numbers, it's people. People like Lily, who remind us what matters. Effective tomorrow, we're launching a family support program, maternity leave, childcare, scholarships. No one should feel alone here. The party resumed, but the air had changed. Sarah and Jenna mumbled apologies, avoided by colleagues who now saw them differently. Lily, overwhelmed, pulled Ethan aside. You didn't have to do that, she whispered. He smiled, brushing a strand of hair from her face. I did. For you, for us, for our baby. Months later, Lily gave birth to a healthy girl, Emma, with Ethan by her side. The office transformed. Mark volunteered to organize the first family day, and Sarah quietly donated to Lily's favorite shelter. Lily returned to work part-time, her desk no longer in the corner, but beside a window, where she could see the city's lights. She wasn't just the coffee girl anymore. She was a reminder that kindness, even under fire, could change everything.